Okay, it looks like I'm back. I'm back. Lucky you, huh? Lucky you. What are you looking at here? Obviously, you're looking at Columbia Pictures icon for their studio, Columbia Pictures by Sony. And the movie is Spider-Man Homecoming. It's being played on Apple 4K TV, Dolby Vision. Okay? And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you the best possible Dolby Vision calibration for this film. And at the end of the video, I'm pretty sure you guys will agree on this as to why I calibrated this way. The television you're looking at, it's Roku TV by TCL, Chinese company, 55-inch, model number P605. Okay, everything's made in China. Even that Oppo UDP203, it's manufactured in China. Pretty much everything it's manufactured in China. Okay, without China, we would just go to the dark ages pretty much. Okay, even this tripod I'm holding, it's made in China. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to walk you step by step on my calibration of Dolby Vision Homecoming movie. And before I start, something else I want to clarify. A lot of people have been asking me, which is better? Is the 4K streaming from Apple 4K TV better than 4K UHD disc? Without delving too much into it, I'll tell you this in short. Physical media disc, it's always going to win. Reason being, it's because it's a constant recorded bit rate. It's constantly holding that bit rate at 80 megabits per second or whatever. While streaming bitrate fluctuates. It goes like this, depending on your internet connection. Okay, how about this? Okay, this remote, it's a steady 80 megabits per second, and it's not moving. And this is the streaming 4K. It goes between 30 to 40, 30 to 40, 20, 30 to 40, and it's fluctuate. So of course, the bit rate on a physical media disc, it's going to be constant, non-stop picture quality, okay? So therefore, it's going to win. Especially if you're using a really good advanced processing chip and a reading disc player like UDP Oppo 203, okay? Especially if you're using Oppo 203, it's going to be even better bit rate. So nothing can change or will replace physical media disc, okay? But one unique thing Apple 4K TV has, it gives you a 4K at a really good bit rate and HDR and Dolby Vision for a really cheap price, okay? Now let's go ahead. I already spent 3 minutes explaining this. Let's go ahead and let's do calibration on this Homecoming Spider-Man for Dolby Vision on Apple 4K TV. Okay, I specifically chose this still right here because it has a lot of colors. It has a lot of peak brightness of colors popping out of it. So let's get right down to it. Now, normally I would use a TV brightness to brighter, but I felt since this TV doesn't have that much of a peak brightness, I felt it's really not necessary to move that brightness all the way to the brighter. I felt once I moved the TV brightness to the brighter, I felt that the scenes were way too bright to the point where you can't see a detail. You know, the idea is for you to see the detail, okay? That's the whole idea right here. And you guys don't have to agree with me on this. Remember, this is something you will have to see for yourself to see what I'm talking about. Meaning, you got to have this TV, and then you got to see, oh, I see why he moved it from the brighter to normal. Okay, that's the only way that you will understand as to why I did. But you can try this out. For those of you who have a TV, remember, this video is for those of you who have this TV and are looking to calibrate Dolby Vision for Apple 4K TV for Spider-Man, okay? So I left the TV brightness at normal, and I also left a picture mode of Dolby Vision to normal as well. So both of these are set to normal. The next thing I did is, of course, local dimming. I left it at high at all times to take the advantage of local dimming zones, which are 72. Again, backlit, brightness, and contrast. This will always be like this. As I said numerous of times, when it comes to HDR and Dolby Vision, it'll always stay like this, meaning you never touch this. You always leave it like this. It's like a letter E, okay? You leave it like this. Sharpness, I left it at 20 because 20 is the threshold, okay? 20 is the threshold of equilibrium balance of the outline sharpness. And I felt 20 here, it's perfect. It's a perfect balance. So I left it at 20. Okay? So backlit, brightness, contrast, this always stays like this. Local dimming, it's always high. Picture mode on Dolby Vision is set to normal, and TV brightness at normal as well. Sharpness, it's at 20. As you can see, I left it there at 20 at the equilibrium threshold. What I mean by equilibrium threshold, I mean in the balance threshold. Okay, that's the balance right there. And color, I left it also at the threshold at 45. Now you're gonna say, why 45? Because I already have good colors here from Dolby Vision. There's no reason for me to oversaturate the colors. Remember, I'm looking for a balance. I don't want to oversaturate nothing. I'm looking to keep everything balanced here. I don't want to oversaturate nothing. So I left the color at 45, and the color temperature, I left it in normal. You know what, man? I thought about, should I go with a warm? Look, you can go with a warm. There's nothing wrong with going with a warm color, but I have felt after analyzing this movie, leaving it at warm, it just kills a bunch of other details in the movie that the director meant for you to see. Remember, you want to see the movie the way the director intended you to see this movie. So I keep it at normal. Just keep it at normal. That's my advice here. So let's go through this, okay? TV brightness. Let's go back. TV brightness, leave it at normal. Dolby Vision, picture mode, leave it at normal. Local dimming, it's always at high. Never mess with this. 72 local dimming zones. Same thing here. Backlit, brightness, and contrast. It's always going to stay like this. You never touch this. Sharpness at 20, which is the balance threshold. Color at 45, which is a balance threshold. And color temperature, which is at normal between cold and warm temperature. So I like to keep it in balance normal. So everything here, it's balanced out pretty much. And you will see throughout, hold on. And you will see throughout some stills, some movie stills here, you will see exactly the results of that, okay? So I'm going to show you some stills. I'm going to walk you through it and talk about some detail here. So let's go right through it. Well, for example, right here, just look how everything is equally balanced. You're not losing any deep dark levels. Nothing's being crushed. Your deep dark levels are not being crushed. Your bright levels are not being crushed. The color is not being oversaturated. Sharpness is at threshold 20% level. And this is exactly what you're getting. And this is pretty good for a streaming 4K device. All right, dynamic metadata, Dolby Vision here. It's excellent in this movie for a streaming, okay? Obviously, watching this on an Oppo 203 Dolby Vision, it will look hell of a lot more depth of field and more crisper and better, obviously. But still, this is pretty good for a streaming Dolby Vision Apple 4K TV movie. Let's go through some more stills here. And even here you will see just how natural it looks. Okay, it looks beautifully natural. Like, you can see in the distance, the colors are represented naturally here in Dolby Vision. And this is something I wanted to show you in a Transformers movie yesterday, just like how beautifully Dolby Vision represents everything on screen. It brings the colors naturally. Remember, when we talk about detail of colors, we're not just talking about bright colors. We're talking about detailed bright colors. So you see everything in natural detail, okay? That's what Dolby Vision does. With that 12-bit compressed color with a high peak brightness being compressed to fit 10-bit panel right here. Not commonly known as dynamic metadata. And even here with Stan Lee, just look how detailed the that building is, the window, and then him right there opening that curtain. You know, there's just, this is a natural picture quality that you want, and this is why I calibrated everything in balanced level. Because you got to remember, you're already getting a Dolby Vision. Dolby Vision is already doing the magic for you. It's already rendering that color as it should be. It's already rendering the peak brightness as it should be. And it's rendering the deep dark levels as they should be. So you don't have to really mess around too much. All you have to do is just keep it balanced. Keep it in the balance field. And this is exactly the kind of results you're going to be getting. Now, in case you guys want to know what's the bit rate on this movie, the bit rate's between 38 to 40 Mbps. But you have to have a device to measure that. There's a device you can buy to measure that. It's pretty expensive. Okay, people who are calibrators, professional calibrators, they have that device to measure all that stuff. You can hook it up to your computer. There's a software. There's a many different types of way of doing that, but it's pretty expensive, okay? In case you're wondering. And even here in the distance, Spider-Man, you know, moving from one side to the other, from the buildings and the construction buildings, from the roofs right there. And you can see the light, the sunset light naturally reflecting on the building and overshadowing the other building, overshadowing it. So it just brings more depth of field and natural color. Remember, one key difference that I wanted to show you guys on my video yesterday was Dolby Vision brings much better color detail and much higher, brighter level of color detail, because you got to remember it's being compressed on that layer, on that second layer on a 4K disc. It's being compressed from 12-bit into a 10-bit to fit the 10-bit with dynamic metadata. So dynamic metadata, it's compressing the 12-bit to fit the 10-bit. Now, having done that, you're still gonna get that color because the movie's already encoded to the 12-bit. So you're gonna be getting that color being compressed into the 10-bit, meaning that the colors will pop much more vividly, and the brighter scenes will appear on those color. So that's the unique thing about Dolby Vision. And of course, here's another great example of Dolby Vision. This is the scene overlooking the Empire State Building, New York. You see the sunset here. It just looks natural. So that's what Dolby Vision does. So my whole point here is keep everything balanced, okay? Don't try to oversaturate anything. Don't try to go out of balance with sharpness. Don't try to go too much of the brightness and contrast. just leave everything balanced. Implement the same exact calibration that I did in this video. Okay, the reason I make this video, it's for you guys to try it out. I'm trying to help you. I'm not doing this for me. I know how to do this. I can do this blindfolded. I know, I'm just hypothetically speaking. Of course, I can't do it blindfolded. I need the eyes. But hypothetically speaking, what I'm trying to tell you is I'm not doing these videos for me. I'm doing it for you. So that way, for those of you who have a TV and don't know too much about TVs and just want the really good picture quality, and you have this TV and you have Apple 4K TV, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to give you guys a recipe on how to achieve same exact balanced level of detail here as I have. All right? And even here you will see how the sunset, it's overshadowing the Spider-Man. As the sun it's setting down, you can see how beautifully it's rendering naturally the one side of his body and the other side's being overshadowed. One side's being reflected, the other side's being overshadowed, okay, realistically, naturally. And this is something you can expect to see on Dolby Vision, okay, and it's just richer in color. My camera here, it's really not doing a justice in terms of how beautiful this looks when you see it on the screen, on the TV. Okay? And remember, keep everything balanced. Use the exact same balanced calibrations that I used on this video. And you will see more dramatic impact of Dolby Vision. Because Dolby Vision, it's already processing that. You don't have to do too much. The only thing you have to do is equalize that, calibrate that, so that way Dolby Vision can breathe and give you true colors that he wants to give you, okay? Because Dolby Vision already has the color. You don't need to mess around with the color. Keep the color at balance. Otherwise, you will be oversaturating it, okay? And even here, when the sunset goes even down further, we see more now of reflection from the blue sky. We got the orange yellow here, and then the blue sky over here because the sun is setting down, reflecting onto a Spider-Man. So this is what Dolby Vision does. It represents these colors in a natural form. So this is why I tell you, you don't have to spend too much time tweaking. Actually, let's go through this one more time, in case you guys are too lazy to start the video from beginning. So let's do this again. TV brightness, keep it at normal, okay? Because you're already getting a Dolby Vision dynamic metadata, and the reason you want to keep the TV brightness at normal because you already have backlit and contrast to the maximum, so you don't really need to keep this brightness all the way high. Keep it at normal. So keep the TV brightness at normal. Also keep the Dolby Vision picture mode at normal. You don't need to overbright the peak brightness. You're already getting that peak brightness with the contrast and the backlit, okay? Which is what Dolby Vision needs. It needs the contrast and backlit. So you can keep this at normal. Keep it at normal. Normal means the balanced level, both of these. And then come down here. Keep the local dimming at high to get the deep dark levels, 72 local dimming zones. Keep that at high, local dimming. Remember, you already have backlit contrast and brightness at 50, so therefore this is why you leave TV brightness at normal and Dolby Vision at normal. So you'll never have to touch this. You always leave these three alone. Okay, these three, you always leave them alone. Sharpness, you want to keep them at 20. That's the balanced threshold of 20 outline, okay? So this is excellent right here. Keep the sharpness at 20. This is the perfect balanced level of 20, okay? So keep it at 20. Same thing with color. It's 45. That's the threshold. That's the balance middle right there. So both sharpness and color, they're at the balanced level. And that's what you want. So that way you can let Dolby Vision show you its true magic of color. Okay? And of course, color temperature, you keep it at normal because you want to avoid that yellow sepia tone, which is warm, and then cold blue temperature, which is blue. So you want to avoid that, and you want to keep it at middle right here, okay? So you want to keep it at normal. So color temperature at normal. So keep the color temperature at normal. All right, so I'm going to do it here. I'm going to keep it like this, and I want you guys to pause the video and pause it. I assume you guys have paused the video and written these things down. Remember, you can always scroll back, and you can always go back to this and write it down. Use that pause button, pause the video, write these things down, okay? So that way I don't have to constantly tell you, because I will not go back and write it down on the comment section. You know, don't be too lazy. Use the rewind button, click on it, go back, pause the scene, and write it down. Okay, it's not that hard. Okay? So, we're going to go back to another scene here. And even here is another great scene. This is at night. And look, even at night here, you see now how you have much better detailed colors. You can see the smoke. You can actually see every and each individual color of the smoke. Same thing with the fire. And the reason you can see that is because you got dynamic metadata, Dolby Vision, processing that and giving you its true definition of natural color. All right, that's why you have to balance the calibration, keep everything at the balanced level, okay? And even here you get to see how naturally it get to look. Again, you know, this is 100 times better when you're watching it in person on your TV instead of you looking at through this camera video. But remember, I do this video so that way you can implement these exact same calibrating customizations onto your TV. And this is exactly why I made this video. It's so that you guys can go ahead and get the best possible Dolby Vision picture quality and enjoy this movie the way it was meant to be. Now, you don't have to watch it like this. You can zoom out, okay? You can zoom out. You can zoom out if you want to. I just did this for demo purposes, but you can zoom out, okay? I just did this to show you the color, to kind of zoom in to show you the color and show you just definition of Dolby Vision. And there you have it. Even here, you see the definition of Dolby Vision here. The deep dark brown spider icon with the brushed aluminum metal gold outlining next to it, and then you got this glossy red finish on the suit, and it just looks like one kick-ass suit, and it looks really good on Dolby Vision here, honestly, you know what I mean. And it's excellent for a streaming 4K movie. You know, this is a 4K streamed movie in Dolby Vision, and it can't go wrong with it. And of course, especially here, you'll notice just how natural this looks. It has a sense of depth of field there, you know. It has that three-dimensional natural look of picture. Granted, this is streamed bit rate. Obviously, if I was watching this on an Oppo 203 Dolby Vision 4K UHD disc, the entire scene would pop even more with detail. That's because, you know, you're watching a physical media. I'm not saying that Apple 4K TV... look, I'm not a fan of streaming and digital media because it requires an internet. Without internet, you're screwed. I'm always going to be a physical media disc guy. But it's not bad. You know, it's not bad considering the price you're paying. for these movies. You know what I mean? It's not a bad price. You know, you can buy a Atomic Blonde. I bought Atomic Blonde for $14. It's a brand new Dolby Vision 4K movie. I mean, can't go wrong. You know, the 4K Blu-ray is going to cost you about $30 or maybe more, depending which edition you buy. So, you know, it's something to look into. You know what I mean?
Good? Good. How are you good?
So there you have it. Okay, so I showed you a little tiny clip. Hopefully I won't get blocked. You know, it's just a one tiny little clip. I can't guarantee you that this video won't get blocked. It's a fair use. We'll see what happens. But again, go ahead, try it. Use these settings. Check it out. And let me know what you think. But please keep in mind, you gotta have this TV, okay? I'm doing this for this TV. Okay, I'm not doing it for OLED. I'm not doing it for any other TV. So if you come to me with a question about a TV that I don't have, I cannot help you with that. I can only help you with what I have. In order for me to help you, I would have to come to your house and look at the TV that you have, okay? So, but what the one advice I can give you that would apply for a lot of TVs would be try to keep everything balanced, okay? The key thing, the key goal you're looking for is balance. Try to keep everything balanced level. All right? You don't want to oversaturate things. You don't want to crush your deep dark levels. You don't want to crush your white bright levels either. So you want to keep everything in a balanced level. Remember, everything it's a balance. Your health status, it's balanced. Don't eat too much pizza. Exercise. Keep everything in a balance. All right? Keep that weight down. So same thing with your car. Keep it balanced. Change the oil. Check alignments. It's all about maintaining that balance. So the same thing applies for the visuals here, for the calibration. And I don't care to who you talk to, which calibrator, professional, quote unquote calibrator you talk to. I don't care what they say. It's all about the equilibrium. It's all about the balance. They're looking for balance too. The softwares they're using are created so they can look for the balanced picture. Okay? That's the key word. It's balance. So there you have it. Hopefully you like this video. I hope this video won't get blocked. If it gets blocked, then, you know, then it's impossible for me to do these videos anymore. I mean, if they're going to block me because I shown few seconds, was it few seconds? 2-3 seconds? 3 seconds. 3 seconds of a footage, then honestly, that's it. I'm done, man, with YouTube. I cannot work like this. You know, it's a lousy 3 seconds. If you're gonna punish me for lousy 3 seconds of fair use, then what the hell, you know? That's all I can say about that. You know what I mean? What can I do? You know? But I think Sony's pretty cool. They understand fair use. They know I'm not profiting any money off of this. They know that I'm doing this video to tell people why they should purchase Dolby Vision, why they should buy this movie, why it looks so great in Dolby Vision, and why Dolby Vision is so important over HDR, you know? And, you know, it's not like I was playing the entire movie here. It's paused, it's in stills, and I only showed you like 3 seconds of a clip of a movie. 3 seconds where he says, "How you good?" Robert Downey said one word like, "How you good?" Come on, you know. Yeah. Anyway, so there you have it. Hopefully you guys like this video. Go ahead and try these settings. Go through them. Make sure you write them down. I'll show it to you for the last time. Okay. Brightness normal. picture mode for Dolby Vision normal. Local dimming high, and then make sure you write all of this stuff down. Pause the video, and write everything here. Write it down. Write everything down here. Pause the video. Pause the video. Pause the video. Pause it. Well, I hope you pause the video, okay? So, there you go. Hopefully this video won't get blocked. If it gets blocked, then, you know, it is what it is. I have no control over that. You know, I'm simply trying to do calibration here. I'm simply trying to show you Dolby Vision and tell you why you should purchase a Dolby Vision of this movie. I'm actually advertising this movie for you to purchase, so I don't see how, you know. Anyway, again, if it gets blocked, what can I do? You know, it's out of my control. It's out of my hands. There's nothing I can do about that. Okay, that's YouTube for you. That's how they work. So there you have it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you when I see you guys. All right, take care. I'm not going to tell you what I'm planning. I would rather if you guys don't know what I'm planning. I like to surprise you. That's what I want to do from now on. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do, what my plans are. I'm just going to surprise you. You're just going to have to wait and see. That's how I'm going to do this YouTube channel from now on. I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm just going to surprise you. Boom. There it is. You know? Unexpected. All right, guys. Have a good one, though. Take care. Be good.